Welcome to Geek Week, where the fun never ends. Action figures ready, it's time to make amends. Comic books stacked high, each cover a dream. With Jacob's Toy, SuperSorrell, and Tripe G's team. It's Geek Week, come on, let's dive in. With laughs and adventures, let the fun begin. So tune in now, don't miss a beat. With every new release, TV to movies, new worlds to explore. Toy hunts in the wild for treasures and lore. In the realm of collecting, we're never alone. Join us, make this hobby your own. Retro vibes buzzing, let's level up right. It's Geek Week, come on, let's dive in. With laughs and adventures, let the fun begin. So tune in now, don't miss a beat. Geek Week is here, bring your passion alive. Let's thrive and revive.
We're back.
That's a funky new intro, mind.
It's a funky new intro for a funky new vibe. Hello, welcome back. It's Geek Week, episode 190, the return. You know, we teased you a couple of months ago and we said it was the last show, but you know, the old saying goes, you can't keep a good thing down. So there we go, we're back. We're gonna jump into the comments. We're gonna kind of, you know, chat along with you guys, so make sure you're commenting. Thank you very much for tuning in. Obviously, in the description of the videos, everyone's channels and stuff, so make sure you go over and like, share, and subscribe and stuff like that. Gents, we're back.
Dead Man's Comic Cover Show. I love that comment. Not over the top at all, then. I love it.
No. We like going over the top. Over the top is what it is.
It's because, I mean, I know Terry. It's because he's very old. That'll have been very loud for him. So the hearing aids, he'll have had to turn them right down.
That's it. There's loads of people in there, loads of the regulars that we'll get to you. It's really good to see you all, guys. But yeah, we did take a bit of a hiatus. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Look at me and my big words. I've been studying.
Been practicing.
But we did. So we got a couple of months to talk about. And then obviously all the other stuff. One thing I think we need to say right from the off is we're changing the format up a little bit. So we're going to come out every other week as opposed to every week. So it's Geek Week, but Geek Fortnight just doesn't sound as cool. So we're keeping it as Geek Week, but we're going to come out every other week just so that we've got more to talk about, so that, you know, there's a little bit of a build up to each show and all the rest of it. So there we go. Gents, what have you been up to?
Well, shall we start with poor Sorrell, because he's been through a fair bit, hasn't he?
Tell us, Sorrell. Tell the viewers what's been going on.
Tell the tale. Well, as we know, back in January, I met up with you in London, and even back then, I was so bloated and I felt horrible. And then we came back from that, and I was like, I don't know. I went through this phase of I just felt like crap. So that's where the whole I'm leaving YouTube thing came from. And I was on the verge of just not coming back to YouTube at that point. I felt that rough. And then we thought I got a bit of the the virus that's going around, a bit of COVID or something, and I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop throwing up. Just couldn't stop. And one night, my dad come to see if I was all right, and basically went, get him to hospital. I went to Pontefract Hospital. The blue lit me all the way to Wakefield, the big one. And they literally took 24 hours to stabilize me before they'd even operate on me. And then it turned out that because I've got a colostomy, for those that don't know, it turned out that my colostomy had basically just died. It just went into necrosis, and I actually had sepsis. So I was slowly dying at home and in tons of pain. And I had to go through a right stint of an operation. I had the first operation, and then they basically turned around and said, we're not done yet. We have to send me through for a second one.
Wow.
Then I was fed through a tube for a month. So I ended up losing about 4 stone. So yeah, that's all right. I got. I did catch myself on the beginning of that trailer. Then it was like, my God, it's like looking at a different person. It's scary. 4 stone's quite a lot, and I mean, all my clothes are ridiculously now all hanging off me now. It's insane. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been.
So basically, Ash went for the extreme getting summer body ready
I did.
vibe. Man, no, it's good to see that you're all right. Yeah, I mean, Joby One's comment there. Genuinely, we're so happy you're all right. Yeah, it is cool. I mean, we all just took it really personally. We were like, oh, okay, right, Sorrell's out. That's cool. No real explanation there. And then, yeah, you're in hospital, and we were like, oh, right, okay.
For the second operation, literally, they came to me. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and they went, we're gonna have to go back to theatre. And they said, can you ring your wife and anyone you want to ring and say goodbye? And I was like, say goodbye? Like,
Wow.
They terrified me that night. I don't think they thought, because my blood pressure was that low, I don't think they thought I was going to survive that second one, which is scary beyond belief.
Wow. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. We were talking about obviously continuing on after you decided to leave, and we were like, we'll carry on. Me and Peter were like throwing a couple of ideas back and forth, and then kind of you're in hospital, and it was like it doesn't really feel right to kind of be jumping out with something. And then obviously, you came out the other side, and we're back.
Yeah,
we're back. So Pete, top that.
I mean, I've had a bit of toothache. I don't know if that is that. No. Seriously, sorry. We were worried about you. Or messaging backwards and forwards and stuff like that. So we're glad you are feeling on the mend. For me, I've just been cracking on with my usual YouTube shenanigans. I've got lots of live shows, lots of vids out, and all that kind of shite. I've just been on holiday, so back from a fortnight's holiday, so I'm out of touch a little bit with TV. I'm desperately trying to catch up with stuff. Just watched the last episode of Daredevil tonight, so I'm a little bit behind on that. But wow, that was graphic. It was graphic, wasn't it? It was a little bit brutal. I'm not up to speed with Andor yet, or what's the other one? Walking Dead with plants. What's that one?
Last of Us.
Walking Dead with
Last
plants.
of Us. Yeah, Last of Us. I haven't watched that yet. So I'm a little bit behind, but Daredevil was good. Enjoyed that.
Daredevil was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. Like from beginning to end, I really enjoyed it. I'm a big fan of the Daredevil series. I really like the Netflix Marvel shows. Anyway, like I even liked Iron Fist. And
I mean, I felt the series wasn't as good as I'd hoped. It was a little bit slow at times, I have to say. But the last episode really blew us away. I thought it was amazing. The good thing about being on holiday as well, if anyone that's been watching my Instagram, I managed to catch up on loads of reading. So I managed to get a load of comics knocked off me reading shelf. So that's been good. So I enjoyed that.
Nice. You know what I've really dived back into this part of the year is my trading cards.
Right.
Like I dropped off my trading cards, but I don't know if you guys know, but Topps released like the X-Men Finest line. So Topps do like a Finest series, and they do it with a lot of the sports and stuff like that. And they got the license for the X-Men 97 line, and they're stunning. They're absolutely stunning. And yeah, I've kind of dived in really quite deep with them. Managed to get some really good pickups though. So I'm got some really good hits in cases. So that they're right next to me. But things like my little orange refractor Jubilee, which is quite cool. They're all serial numbered at the bottom. Like you can't see it, but that's number 18 out of 25. But my favourite ones, and I'm just going to reach up high because I've got them on display up here, is I didn't get any sketch cards. I'm well annoyed. I didn't get any sketches. So they've got one of one sketch cards. So artists have done sketches and all the rest of it. But I did hit 2 autograph cards,
nice.
Which is cool. And obviously, if anyone's a fan of Walking Dead, this is obviously he plays Aaron in The Walking Dead as well. So, but yeah, Professor X and Rogue, which is very cool.
I forget the name of that guy who plays Aaron in The Walking Dead, but am I right in thinking he's the same guy? Does he do the voice for Red Skull in Endgame? Because he's a very talented voice actor, I think. And I'm sure I believe he does. Took over from Hugo
Ross,
Eden,
I can never pronounce his surname. Marquand. But yeah, I can never pronounce his name. I know what his face looks like. But yeah, he's very cool. But there's one card that's not part of the Topps Finest. It is Topps. It's part of their Chrome series, and this is cool. It's serial number 38 out of 50, and it's Frank Miller autograph card.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So yeah, so Frank Miller's autograph, and these are official autographs as well. They're not reprints; they're like the actual autographs, and then they've got like the seal over them. But this is the prize of my trading card collection at the moment.
Where did you get them from? Because I've been looking for the WWE ones, which are the same with this, signatures and stuff, and I haven't been able to find them anywhere.
A new set, so things like the X-Men 97 boxes.
Yeah.
You can Topps released them, and they were retailing at about 130, I think, for a box. You got 12 cards, 12 packs in a box with 5 cards in each pack. And they were about 130 on retail, and then obviously they sold out. The pre-orders they just sold out. So the only place you could get them is on the aftermarket, and then they were retailing anywhere. I've seen people trying to sell them for like 250 quid.
Wow.
Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, if it's out, like cards that are already out, there's all sorts of resellers, and like with action figures, there's trusted places, there's not so trusted places. You can take a gamble on eBay, but
did either of you guys go in for the Transformers trading card set that came out recently? Dr. Von Hoot's in the chat there, pal of mine, and I know he picked up one of the, I think it was a Kickstarter box set of Transformers cards, and again they were like the ones you've just shown. So, Jacob, you could get sketch cards or voice actor signed cards and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was all the original G1 artwork and things like that. They look pretty cool. They look pretty good.
I just like over my shoulder here, you can just see there's like all binders there on the thing. They're all binders full of trading cards. And I've got another 4 binders in the house of my kind of higher end ones that I'm still kind of trying to complete. But the X-Men ones, I managed to get a full set. So I've got a full set of cards. Loads of doubles. But yeah, they're just really cool. There's something really cool about trading cards and opening the packs and getting the hits and stuff like that. And I used to collect trading cards a lot more. And I just kind of, after Christmas, I was kind of like, you know what, I'm going to kind of get back into them a little bit. So, and I'll bore people with them properly one day on a video and just kind of go through all of the ones I've got. But yeah, no, that's been my main guilty pleasure, I think.
Good stuff.
The
chat's popping there, mind, isn't it? We've got loads of people in the chat.
Yeah. So what are people saying? Dr. Van Hoot said, I really want to get boxes of them X-Men cards. I can't justify the price point. The problem is with the X-Men ones, there are things in there that hit. So if you go on Topps, you can actually see what the chances and the how many packs per signature card, how many packs per, and then you're playing a bit of a game. But some of them are, if you look on eBay, some of the sold prices are ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous.
All the way through WrestleMania, they just kept showing off them top cards signed. And there was a bit, I think it was Dominic Mysterio, he actually signed his like more or less on the ramp or something. They like handed him like the card and he signed it. And that is awesome. That's the one that's going in the pack. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm the thing that really got me with the X-Men cards is if you do hit a sketch card, and there's quite a lot of them out there, they're not kind of, there's not like 5 sketches. I think they had about 20 artists do about 50 cards each or something stupid like that. So there's quite a lot out there. But obviously all of the sketches are individual and they are one of ones. So if you hit one of those, it justifies the price of a couple of boxes easy. But even the signature cards are picking up a pretty penny, but like this Frank Miller card, for example, I've seen this sell for like nearly 300 quid, which is ridiculous. Like it's, I would not pay £300 for this, but yeah, I've seen this sell for like nearly 300 quid. So, and they're the kind of thing that they are only going to increase in value. Trading cards like comic books, if you get the right ones and you look after them and whatnot, they do increase in value. A lot of people talking about Daredevil.
Fuzzy's making a good comment there, saying Daredevil could have been made perfectly in 4 or 5 hour long episodes. 9 wasn't necessary. I agree with that. There's a couple of episodes that for me felt very filler. Like the bank episode didn't feel like we needed that. There was a few, I think, that
there were a few bits that did annoy, like the Miss Marvel kind of shoehorn for Miss Marvel was a little bit like, oh, okay, we know, like I would have much rather have them used her dad and us to go, oh, that's as opposed to ram it down our kind of throat that the link was there, but I enjoyed it all. I enjoyed it all, but I do agree it could have been shortened. I haven't actually seen any of the Last of Us, so I can't even comment on
the only reason I know anything about it is from Gogglebox. Literally, Channel 4 has been keeping me update with all the cool parts.
Have neither of you watched season 1?
Yeah, I've seen the first season.
All right, yeah.
Yes,
So I think I loved the first season. I think we're on to 3 episodes now of season 2. Like I say, I haven't watched any of it yet, so no spoilers, please. Because my friend James Keegan keeps telling us that something big happens in episode 2 that I'm going to lose my mind over. So we'll see.
Yeah. Dr. Von Hoot's Comics from the Spiral Dimension. Love that name anyway. There you go. Ash, that's who you want to speak to in regards to the trading cards for the WWE. And in the Transformer ones, the aftermarket is not strong enough. That's the thing. I mean, the thing with the X-Men ones is that people did go mad for them because obviously it's the first time that Topps has had that specific X-Men 97 license. So it was like a new thing.
I think the frustrating thing with the Transformers one, correct us if I'm wrong, Von Hoot, I'm trying to recall your video before I went on holiday, but it was a Kickstarter campaign. You guys are familiar with Kickstarter, I know that. So they did a Kickstarter campaign for this box of cards, but then they released them in the shops before the Kickstarter had kind of sent their product out. So you could buy them off the shelf anyway before the Kickstarter ones came through the door, which just seems a bit crap. You know, you thought, I would have thought you would be rewarding the Kickstarter crowd for their loyalty and their support before you release the actual product into the shops, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Talking about buying products in shops, I know that Sorrell's got a few of these, but my newest kind of inclusion are these little guys up here, which are the blockies, the Transformer blockies.
Yeah,
absolutely. They are so addictive.
I thought they were going to be really hard to build, and then kind of opened up one of the mini ones. I was like, oh, it makes logical sense when you look at the pieces. It just sort of it falls into place. It's great.
Yeah.
Blockies is like Lego, is that right? Is it that kind of stuff?
It's
similar.
kind
It's
of
more like an easier version of like a Gundam.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's like a midway between like Lego and Gundam. Like it's.
Don't think I've seen these. Have you got one to hand, or are they too far behind?
They're up there. They're too far.
Starscream. Hang on a
minute. But they're really cool. I mean, I went up to the Transformers store at Battersea, the opening for that, and the majority of products there were very little Hasbro products. There was shelves of blockies, shelves of pops, and
so these are the smaller ones.
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't transform. They stay in the robot form, but this is just one of the mini ones for like £6. Yeah, it's fully articulated. He's got joints and.
That's not what I was expecting to see. I quite like that.
Yeah, I think that it works with Transformers because Transformers obviously have a blocky kind of So I think it works with Transformers. Then it's not a line I would collect if it was like Marvel Heroes or something, like if it was like Spider-Man and stuff like that. But for Transformers, they're fantastic.
And then you got these are the bigger ones. So Blocky sent these over for me. These ones are big. I've got Ironhide, I've got Bumblebee. They're all from Transformers 1, the movie.
Yeah.
But the actual figures aren't bigger.
Are they not? Are they not actually bigger than the little ones?
No.
Are you sure?
100%.
Massive.
100%.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll hang on. Let me go and grab some. Hang on 2 seconds.
Just whilst you're getting one, C4 Dark Rain's just saying there. Arrowfire knows a thing or two about blockies. Arrowfire, if you're into your Transformers, is a fantastic YouTube channel. So go check him out at Arrowfire. He does some great live shows all about Transformers. He's a big fan of Beast Wars in particular, I think. But yeah, very cool.
Nice. Yeah, they sent me like a whole box of them over, and I've got a box of just like gold ones. Like they're all. Nice. I can't get it. It's too close now. But it's just literally like a box of like 6 little ones.
Sorrell, can you bring comments up, or is it just Jacob who can do that?
Just Jacob. I don't have the power.
Yeah, I don't have the power either. Von Hoot's just saying blockies are not for me, but I do see the appeal. There we go, magic. I could easily fall down the Transformers blocky rabbit hole and spend a fortune. That's the problem, isn't it, Von Hoot? There's too many. I mean, you'll know this, Sorrell. There's too many great toy lines out there. You could just spend a bloody fortune, couldn't you?
The beauty thing about blockies is the little ones. Because obviously I do blind bags anyway. These ones, you don't know who you're going to get inside the little box.
Right.
So there was like 7 or 8 different, Transformers you could have got, and then these were like £6-7 each at game, which I didn't think was too bad. That's about the price of a blind bag these days for a decent one, anyway. And then the big ones are about £20.
Okay.
Depending which series you get.
Just with you mentioning game there, I'm sure you guys are aware of this. It's always worth poking your little head into game because they not often knocked some value off toys sometimes. Some of your Marvel Legends and things like that seem to get massive reductions just randomly.
Massively.
You get some good bargains.
Megatron. This
nice.
was from the Galaxy. This is just the normal, the blind box ones.
Right. Yeah.
So these are about £6 to £8. They're under a tenner, depending where you buy them.
Yeah,
not bad at all.
And fully articulated. So that's cool. In that particular set, there was a chase one, which was these are 1 in 9. So 1 in 9, you'll get one of these figures. 1 in 32 was the metallic Optimus Prime.
That.
So that's cool. And he comes with a whole bunch of like you can swap his arm out for like the sword. Sorry, it's really not picking it up.
Is that based on the current comic book run? Because he's got Megatron's. Is that Megatron's cannon attached, or is his Ion cannon?
Yeah. But the Bumblebee that I picked up, which is the same box size as the ones you held up, is like this.
Wow, that's nice.
So scale wise, they're very similar scale. This is the Bumblebee is a lot more detailed, like a lot more detailed.
But I guess it depends if you've got a Prime to stand him next to you, because Bumblebee should be much shorter than Prime, shouldn't he? He should be about half Prime's height.
So, but the cool thing with this as well is that you won't be able to see it, but there's lights in it as well. So when you shake it, his eyes light up. I don't know.
You need now to get this guy.
Yeah.
You need to get Scourge now, because Scourge and Bumblebee actually connect together.
But you look at that. So that's that scale there. So in that box, the scale of him is much bigger.
Yeah.
But So,
I got these from Blockies. I've not seen these anywhere.
I guess the scale is different then, isn't it? Because obviously Bumblebee is a smaller character. But I was happy. But the detail on these ones is phenomenal.
They look great.
Blocky sent these over as well. These are gold ones. These are all gold colored.
That's really cool.
It's got 6 of them inside this box. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. I just really like them. Transformers for me, I really limited my Transformer collection. So I've got the X-Men jet, I've got the DeLorean, and I stripped right back just with Transformers, just because I don't know, just for whatever reason I was like, you know what, Transformers aren't making up my collection. But then obviously with the fan home Optimus Prime, you can see him there. Look, he's nearly complete. Complete. Look, his torso's down there. His legs are there. You can get the idea of how big he's going to be.
Yeah.
And then I saw the Blockies at the Battersea Power Transformers Battersea store, the opening, and I was like, you know what? I'm really tempted by these. I'm really tempted, and I'm really pleased I did, just because they're fun. There's a bit more to them when you get them out of the box. You don't just kind of get them out and put them straight on a shelf. Like you have something to do to display them. There is that blind box element as well. But it's just a fun line. It's just a fun line.
I've seen those Blockies. You can now get them at Hobbycraft, and they're about £15 in Hobbycraft. So if you wanted to dip your toes in, there's a bunch of discount ones in Hobbycraft here in the UK at the moment.
I might have to check them out.
Yeah.
I collect primes, so that out of all the Transformers, I tend to go for vintage ones. I just picked up a Metroplex actually, but I tend to collect Optimus Prime variants, so I might have to get a version of that for a Prime. Yeah, I like them.
In this series, you do get Prime normally, but then this is the all metallic one.
I would want the metallic sexy in it.
It's really nice. And when you think that, because obviously you picked this up as a blind bag, I think Hobbycraft selling for £8. I think Games selling for £6. if you're a collector of Transformers, to get that for £6, £8, that's not bad going, is it?
Dark
Just,
Man's just saying he gets his from AliExpress, a lot cheaper.
Nice.
Nice. The thing with AliExpress, I'm a little bit hesitant. I mean, obviously, without getting too much into politics, with everything that's been going on with certain ransoms and tariffs and stuff like that, there was definitely a window of opportunity with websites like AliExpress and stuff. So, but I'm always a little bit hesitant about what's knockoff and what isn't, because I've had a few things off there that I thought were genuine and were told they were genuine, and they turned up, and I was like, yeah, this is clearly not genuine. But yeah, I'm not too fussed. I mean, I'm not going to resell. So if AliExpress sell them, then I might take a look and pick a few up.
Transformers for me, I mean, these blockies have been perfect for me because I could never transform them. That's why I never collected them as a kid. I could never do them. So for me, they always stayed in whatever they came out of the package as. If it was a car, it stayed as a car because I couldn't turn into the robot. Or if I did, like, I'd end up breaking the robot. You know what I mean? Because it'd be flimsy as hell. So these little blockies are perfect for me because they're just big, chunky robots that you can't really damage.
See, it's funny you're saying that because, again, it's a nostalgia thing. And I might be remembering it wrong. But when I was a kid, I couldn't break my Transformers. They were solid, you know. And I would say that I've got a Generation 1 Prime, Megatron, Scorponok and a few others. They are solid figures. You know, you can bend them and move them around and stuff. But then when my son was collecting Transformers, they were just crap. They were literally just bits popping off left, right and centre, and the leg ball joints exploding in my hand, and I couldn't be chewed with it, you know?
Yeah, no, you're right. I remember mine were really indestructible as a kid. I loved them. I was the opposite though. For some reason, like my kind of OCD just kicked in, and I was like, it was just something very cool about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I grew up in the 90s. I think it was Beast Wars when I grew up. I think it was like Transformers Beast Wars, and I had the Cheetah one. I remember that being quite brittle.
Yeah.
I'm not up on the Transformers names, will warn you. So it's the Cheetah one to me.
There's definitely two types of people as a kid. You either liked Transformers or you didn't. Like that, you fell into one of the two parks. There was no kind of middle ground. You either were well into making it, like playing with them, or you weren't. But I think maybe what you said there, Pete, is what's put me off, like collecting them as an adult, because they don't feel the same. The ones that are out now.
Do you know what? I'm the same with my Hot Toys, Jacob. To be honest, I don't know why, but there's something very sexy about die-cast metal. I'm drawn to that. So the original Generation 1 Prime, you know, with these metal chassis and stuff like that, I'd go that any day of the week, you know, compared to some of the new plastic crap.
Yeah. Couple of people in the chat. 80s panels in a half pint. Love that name. 80s
guy.
Transformers were pretty sturdy from what I remember. I agree. Shelley's in the chat. How you doing, Shelley? Good to see you. Found some vintage Transformers during my garage clean out the other day.
Same photos, Shelley.
That is.
That's the dream. Cool. I never get that. Do you know what I mean? That's the dream. Discovering in a loft a box of toys or something.
No, I know. I don't get that. Northern Nomad Transformers G1 all the way. Nice.
That's a tremendous icon he's got there, isn't it? I love that Iron Man.
Dr. Von Hoot says you either like Transformers or you're wrong. Love that. Love that. But to be honest, like Transformers as a collector, I didn't get into Transformers massively. Like I said, I got rid of them. I didn't want to pick up any more because I think what we've said is it was that element of they weren't the same as what they were. But if I think back to the last year, like I went to the advanced viewing of Transformers 1. I went to the opening of the Battersea Transformers store. I'm building the fan home Optimus Prime. Like I love Transformers. I love them for what they are. And yeah, these blockies, like what Sorrell said, they just do it for me. Now.
It's funny, isn't it? I think it's interesting listening to Sorrell as a, dare I say it, a slightly younger man. It's what you're nostalgic for. So I've been on holiday, as I've said there. So lying in bed with my little iPhone, I must have watched see if Jacob can guess which one. I watched an iconic scene from Transformers, the cartoon, the movie, about 4 times, just because and I can quote it just because I love it. You know, the bit where Prime transforms and one shall stand, one shall fall, all that kind of stuff. I just love it. And it's one of those films that I'm worried if I go back and watch the entire film, I'll think it's naff. Like I have done with a lot of 80s films when I've gone back. But I'll watch that scene, Prime fighting Megatron, and I'll watch the end scene where Hot Rod gets the Matrix and you hear Prime's voice say, "Arise, Rodimus Prime." And I just grin. It's the same as if I watch Endgame. I watch the Captain America Avengers Assemble scene and I feel myself filling up. And I don't know why. I've watched it so many friggin' times, but it's just got that nostalgia tick for us.
Yeah.
And despite watching it 50 times, I just grin and feel myself about the bubble because it's that still got that emotion.
But that's what I feel that Transformers 1, the movie, that's what I feel that it hit the nostalgia points correctly. Because as I said, I took my eldest son and I was kind of like, if I didn't have the invite, I probably would have waited until it was come out and, dare I say it, maybe even waited until it came out on telly. But I got the invite and I was like, nope, I definitely want to see it and all the rest of it. And I sat there and I was like, this is phenomenal. This is hitting all of the nostalgia points for me. And then I look at my son and he's kind of been introduced to these stories and these backstories for the first time. And I was like, they've hit gold with this.
When we were in Universal Studios and the movie was out, my daughter saw all the trailers and was heavily into, RC, the girl robot, the pink one. Yeah, so she saw that and was like, oh, there's a girl robot. And I was like, yeah, of course there is. And then the Hasbro sent us that box, and there were those little figures in it that they're like you push a button and they just transform. They're like made for kids. Yeah. And basically, I gave her the RC version of that, and because it was like 2 clicks to transform it, she was playing with that for hours. And then there was that, is it Arachnid? Yeah. She was like the female assassin in it. And once she watched the movie on DVD at home, she's like, oh, the bad guy's a girl as well. And I went and bought her the one snap version of that as well. And she's still got them on a shelf upstairs. She has them on the shelf. So I mean, it's awesome when I can introduce it stuff like that, and she gets like proper action figures rather than Barbie all the time.
So I'm gonna do a really good segue now. This is a really good segue, right? So the other Transformer that's in my house that my kids absolutely loved was the transforming Optimus from Jada Toys. They sent that over to me to have a look at. It wasn't an amazing remote control car and it wasn't an amazing Transformer toy, but as a two combined, it was brilliant. It was an affordable remote control car that transformed into Optimus Prime and spoke. Like, it was like, what more do you want? And my 6-year-old, who was 4.5 at the time, absolutely loved it. Like, still has it now a couple of years later and still plays with it. Like, it still comes out and he still plays with it. But that came from Jada Toys. Jada Toys Street Fighter figures. Let's just acknowledge the kind of GOAT right now. Like, they have to be one of the top people producing action figures right now, in my opinion. Like, for what they're hitting, for the popularity of the figures, for the, all of that kind of stuff, they're really ticking all the boxes, I think.
Yeah, like we've seen the Scooby-Doo ones that are coming out as well next, and they're just as good.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Jacob are lucky to have those in hand in London, and they look amazing.
Yeah.
So they're doing big things with action figures over the next year, the next year or so. I mean, we've still got some of the best characters from the Street Fighter line still to come, haven't we? Like Blanca and Sagat next, I think. Then we've still got, Honda, and there's some big characters all coming out together, really. Zangief.
Yep. And the thing with the Street Fighter license as well is obviously they're doing it based on Street Fighter 2. But there's so many extended characters. There's so much more that they could do. They could run this for years.
They've got the license for Street Fighter 2, the final chapter, because SH Figure Arts have got one of the other licenses, so they're not allowed to produce the figures from, I believe, from the line that SH Figure Arts is currently releasing. And is it Beast? No, who's the other one? Storm Studios or something? Storm
Wasn't the Street Fighter versus... or was that Capcom versus Marvel?
Capcom versus Marvel,
Capcom versus Marvel.
But Marvel Legends are doing something really interesting, though. So I don't know if you guys have seen the leaks and the rumors, but supposedly Marvel Legends are releasing the Marvel versus Capcom Marvel figures.
Okay.
So there's a few of the people that kind of post leaks and post rumors and all this kind of stuff. And dare I say it, 90% are right about what the information they share. Have said about 2-pack boxes that include Marvel Legends figures based on the computer games. So obviously, if you're a fan of both franchises and you're a collector of the Jada Toys Street Fighter, you're going to have the opportunity to put these Marvel characters with them. But I don't know many other toy companies right now that are holding a torch to these Street Fighter figures, and the reason I think is because the level of detail that's going into them is second to none. Like, you've got accessories, you've got effect pieces, you've got alternate heads, you've got kind of individual box art for the level and that kind of stuff. And this is coming from a company that originally started with die-cast cars, like with toy cars. Like, that's what Jada Toys was originally, wasn't it? They started off with cars, and they're now producing action figures at a level that's better than some of the companies that have been producing action figures for years and years and years. So I think there's a lot to be said there.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, the box art. Sorry, the boxes are just stunning as they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't got any myself, but I know the ones I've seen you guys on your channels, they just look amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I'll say it again, if you take that plastic cover off the front, you can leave the whole box in place. Take the plastic cover off, and literally you've got a nice stand, and it's really cool when you have the figure coming out of it with his fist or something. It just looks really pops in 3D.
Yeah. But they're definitely my favourite. So between Blockies and Street Fighter, they've been my main line.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I picked up as well is the rest of the Beast Kingdom Batman figures. So I've got 5 of them now. There is 6 up there. The middle one is Batfleck, but he's not the Beast Kingdom one. He's another line. But they, again, just an incredible. Did you see what I did with the box? Did you see
the art piece?
Where...
Yeah, that's really cool. Is that a good idea? That.
There it is. So the box for the Batman figures was so nice.
Oh wow!
I had to frame it. So
that looks very cool. I like that.
It does look.
You can see in the reflection my Jaws poster and like. But what I really like about this, and I don't know if you can see, but it's got the movie, the date, and then like a little quote as well underneath.
Yeah.
So for each one. So yeah. So I was really pleased with that. So they're the
Very
5
cool.
that I got. So that's been my only other pickups, I think, in the time that we've been away.
Let me just show you, because I mean, speaking of Jada Toys, they do like their die cast, and of course there is a certain film out at the moment, so I had to get it.
Yeah.
Steve Lava Chicken. So I've got the Jack Black set. I couldn't resist. This weighs a ton, but guess how much this was to buy from Smith's? 15 quid, which I didn't think was bad for solid die cast metal.
Die cast is not bad.
This weighs a ton. All of these metal figures, quite thick and chunky, and you get the 2. Obviously, you get Steve. He's the hardest character to find on the shelves these days. Ridiculous.
I've not seen the film, and I have to say I've got no burning desire. Is it worth seeing? Is it?
Yes.
I think
it's amazing.
It depends how young your kids are, Pete. It depends how young your kids are. Like,
17-year-old kids. So, yeah.
But
I'm a big kid. I'm a big kid.
I went on my own. I didn't even take my daughter with me. I just went on my Todd. I enjoyed it.
I took my boys and they loved it, and I came out loving it. Like I think that I'll rephrase the question. It depends how much of a fan of Jack Black you are.
Yeah, I love Jack
Black.
I do like a bit of Jack Black.
It's just Jack Black. I think it's a really good film. I think it's not going to win any Oscars. It's not going to win any Academy Awards or anything like that. But it's Jack Black being Jack Black in a Minecraft environment with a loose story. Jason Momoa is fantastic in it. Like, it's just a really good film. Like, it's just a fun time at the theater, at the cinema.
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot at the theater at the moment I want to go and see. So it's probably the one I'll leave until it comes out on stream or something and try and catch something else.
But
Panels in a half pint said, pleasantly surprised me. Thought it was going to be dog turd, but it really wasn't. C4 Darkman said, I had a lot of fun shouting out lines with my kids. See, that's the thing, because of like TikTok and like the meme culture, obviously certain quotes in the film. Have you seen the videos of people at the?
Yeah, I couldn't cope with that. If I was in a theatre scream and kids were screaming, I would go into proper old man mode.
Yeah.
Fuzzy's comments made us chuckle, and Fuzzy's a big fan of Minecraft, obviously.
Yeah.
Chicken jockey.
Well, I hear Fuzzy's comment, and I'm going to answer it with Shelley's comment because it's la 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 lava. It's just been. Shall I tell you what I did? I bought one figure from the Minecraft movie, and that was the 1/6 scale Jack Black figure. Because it's like 20 quid. It's a half decent head sculpt. He's got the diamond sword, and I've already got things in the way. I'm gonna make a Hot Toys scale Jack Black figure.
Wow.
From Minecraft. So yeah.
Wow.
Next up, though, on my recent toy hunt, I have to show you Blade and Gambit.
Oh,
Pops. Had to grab those. But the ones that I was really surprised to find recently, I can't believe I found these. Creature Commandos. So I've got the Frankenstein and the Bride.
Nice.
So really happy to have those. They had the full set of them in HMV, but at $14.99 each. I only getting
how much Pops go for?
Yeah. So I've got I only went for Frankenstein and the Bride because those are the two main ones that I wanted. But I have to say a big thank you to Heo.com because they sent me this awesome piece for May the 4th. We've got the Obi-Wan Kenobi Japanese-inspired figure. The feudal Japan version.
Love it.
And it looks
quite a niche thing, isn't it?
So yeah, they've done a bunch of them. They've done like a Darth Vader, Stormtrooper. I think Mandalorian and Grogu have had the treatment. Basically, they just reimagined them in feudal Japan.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. Have you guys got any plans for May 4th? That's what.
I'm gonna go watch Revenge of the Sith on the big screen. I think.
Oh, is it coming over? Is it?
Yeah, it's already out. It's already out, I believe.
Did you follow along with Star Wars Celebration much?
A little bit.
Yeah, I saw bits of it. Did you guys do Star Wars Celebration when it was in London a few months?
No, I didn't go. I was actually tempted to go to this one. I'm not going to lie.
Well, yeah, I did the London one and I quite enjoyed it. I've always wanted to do Japan, but just the prices involved and everything, it's just too much.
Yeah, that's what put me up in the end.
Yeah, but it's in San Francisco, I think, or San Diego. I can't remember.
It's LA.
LA, is
LA.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the 50th anniversary, is it?
Okay.
Next start in 2027. I think so.
Well,
Someone in the comments correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the 50th anniversary for the next celebration.
Because Hasbro released that really cool Ronin looking figure while they were out there. It's Ronin and R5D56, and that was the first Black Series that genuinely made me go, ooh. Very tempted to get that. That looks awesome. Black and white scale as well, which is really cool. Yeah. And Dash Render from Shadows of the Empire. Nostalgia vibes right there. And in fact, they've already shown a thing of Chewbacca in the I forgot what they're called, the bounty hunter, but Chew was basically dressed up as another bounty hunter, wasn't he?
Oh, all right.
They're already thinking about they've already got the thing for that figure, and they're slowly going to release the Shadow of the Empire's figure, which is very cool.
Yeah. Rich Review said definitely going to LA for next celebration, 2027. It's the anniversary year. Yeah. Bethany Beth in the chat. Hello, Bethany Beth. LA because it's easier for actors to get to. Yeah, that makes sense.
Half of the cast of Star Wars is British.
Yeah. The only thing I did pick up on, though, is that supposedly, like Hayden Christensen's, like the autograph and pictures was really badly handled. And there's a lot of negative kind of people talking about how they missed things, they were pushed around, like all this kind of stuff. So
that was by the security, wasn't it? Not the it was
not the event as such, but
I saw something about that saying that they were very aggressively manoeuvred and things like that. Yeah. Well, I had the same thing at the London one, mind. So there was a load of stuff in the pages and the Facebook groups and all that kind of stuff after the London one, saying that some of the security staff had been quite heavy-handed. But
I think the sad thing is that obviously when these things happen with the internet and that the way that it is, the information spreads very quickly.
Yeah.
And it does taint the. Like, I'd hate for somebody to. You can imagine, can't you? Like saving up to do Japan, to do the event, to get that photo, all that kind of stuff, only to come away with a negative experience is really sad to hear. Shelley has said though that Hayden's at Liverpool Comic Con this year.
Liverpool Comic Con gets some absolutely stunning guests. I don't know if you guys have done that one. I've done Liverpool 3 times now. It's good, but it's very cramped, very, very busy. but they seem to get some incredible guests.
Yeah, I was really tempted to do Liverpool this year just because of the guest lineup, and I was even reading it to my kids, and just really out there ones as well, like cast of The Office, the American Office, and stuff like that. And my daughter's like, "Well, okay, so for 250 quid, I could get a picture with this person, this person, this person," and I'm like, "Yeah, you could, but that's 250 quid.
Yeah,
I'm not paying that for you. I'd rather buy myself a hot toy. I'm not paying for a photograph." But yeah, it's all good. But yeah, I am going to do Liverpool one year. I do think I'll do Liverpool one year.
yeah.
I tell you what, LA.
Great casts.
LA would be a great couple of weeks away because you could do Disneyland, you could do Universal. Oh, it would be a good trip,
So
that one.
my plan next year is I'm doing San Diego Comic Con. So I'm going to go and stay with my pal Efren, Passport Comics.
Nice.
So that's
You know what?
the
San
battle
Diego's always been on my bucket list to do San Diego Comic Con. Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of your plan there because I've always wanted to do it, but I've never put a plan in motion.
plan. Yeah, it's on my bucket list. Shelley's talking my language there. Medic. She wanted to see the Starship Troopers cast.
Yes.
That was the lineup that was sent to me, and you can get a photo with the whole group for not that much money either.
Yeah. Have you watched Troopers recently? Because I rewatched it maybe 6-7 months ago. It still stands up. It's a phenomenal movie.
Great
Phenomenal.
movie.
Starship Troopers is the only movie that. Do you remember Britannia, the DVD club?
Yeah.
So, did you have that store, or was that just a little bit before you?
That's a little bit far, I think, mate.
So basically, for anyone that doesn't know, Britannia was one of these ones where they kind of get you by going, "We'll send you 10 DVDs for, for free if you sign up." And I was like 18, and I was like, "Okay, cool, brilliant." And Starship Troopers was one of those DVDs. And then they end up like stinging you with like sending you just random DVDs every like month, and then and then a bill, and you're like, "I don't want to watch this. But what's this?" But I had Starship Troopers because of it. And it's one of the only DVDs I watched every single night for about a year. Like literally, it was my go-to.
I remember it coming out on VHS because I don't remember it being at the cinema because I was too young for that, but I remember the VHS because it was one of them ones that were like you could rent it for 7 days for like £3 or something. And I watched that thing over and over.
So I went to a horrendous cinema in Sunderland when I was first with my then girlfriend who became my wife, and we went to see Starship Troopers, and I remember sitting watching it and coming out thinking I've just witnessed the greatest movie ever made. It was just instantly quotable, fantastic special effects, loved every second of it. And I looked at her and she said, "What the shit was that? That was crap." And then I suddenly realised all the noise around her was people complaining, saying that was dreadful. And I thought, what? Have I watched a different film? What's going on here? But it was obviously just I just loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I just thought it was fantastic. I can't even put my finger on what was so good about it. Like I loved that, like, without using names, I loved the main character and wanted to be the main character. I was in love with the love interest. I wanted to, the guns and the armor was cool and you wanted it, and the bugs, everything about it was just incredible. Like, it was just incredible, and it didn't matter. I could sit now and watch it without interruption, phones down, door locked, like just watch the film without interruptions and still love it just as much. But did you ever catch any of the sequels?
Yeah.
They were rubbish.
And the short-lived animation.
They were rubbish. They was like not even like slightly bearable. Like, they were just.
But
rubbish.
The thing that got us back into Starship Troopers recently was playing Helldivers. Have you played that? How they're getting away with that, I've got no idea, because Helldivers is just basically Starship Troopers. I mean, it's almost identical. Everything about it, But if you're into a Starship Troopers kind of mood and you want a bit play, Helldivers 2 is just amazing, absolutely amazing.
Civil Darkman said animated ones weren't that bad. I'll give you that. Animated weren't that bad, actually.
There's the new game, isn't there, coming out, or is it already out, where you're basically playing a trooper on Rico's squad?
Yeah.
I
think they've seen the success of Helldivers, haven't they? And they thought,
definitely.
let's just push out a Starship Troopers game.
The sad thing is, though, is that I've looked at kind of 1/6 scale figures, and there's not really anything out there to.
a couple of third-party ones.
Yeah.
They're not the best, but if you get
No.
the special edition one, you get an arachnid with the character for him to stand on and things like that.
All right. Okay.
The only
So there's
good
two,
bug
I
is
think
the
two
dead
figures.
bug.
All right. Okay. I'll have to have a look. I mean, the ones that I've come across, I didn't float my boat. I was like, it's not.
As long as you're happy with them not looking face accurate to the movies, there's an attempt at the likeness, but the costume, the design, all that is spot on. It's just they don't look like the main characters.
The thing is, with head sculpts and that, you can get good third-party head sculpts and that kind of stuff. Anyway, speaking of sci-fi, though, what about the Predator stuff going on?
I'm excited for that Predator. That looks good.
There's two things, isn't there? There's the animated stuff, and there's the sequel to Prey.
Yeah, so you've got your anthology animated movie, which has got 3 different time spans in it: pirates, samurais. I can't remember, was it World War II? The other one? Yeah. And then you've got the live action movie, which everybody's geeking out at because did you notice the lady, she's got the Wayland symbol in her eyes. So she's obviously an android, so hinting at an Aliens versus Predator crossover.
Yeah.
I was loving the trailer up until you saw the unmasked Predator. And I kind of thought, oh, that's it.
It's because he's on his pilgrimage, isn't he? That's the whole point. He doesn't have his mask yet. He's not earned the right to have the mask, the cannons, anything. He's completely bare at this point.
It wasn't necessarily that. It was it was the face design of the Predator. Just kind of, I thought, it looked a bit odd to me. It looked a bit, if I'm being really honest, it looked like a bit, and it's maybe meant to be. It looked a bit kind of teenage angst kind of thing. It didn't look like Grizzled Warrior. Do you know what I mean? It looked like, and I thought, oh, that's different. But excited for it. I still cannot wait to see it.
I'm even looking forward to the cartoon one, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
I'm very excited for it. But for me, those type of movies, it's the Jaws formula. Like Jaws was terrifying because of what you didn't see, and films like the original Alien and the original Predator, like because of budgets and because of special effects and stuff like that, the stuff they did give you was gold, and the rest was left to your imagination. Like if you think back to the original Predator film, like yes, we saw the Predator and all that kind of stuff, but there was a lot of that film where it was from the Predator's point of view, like from their viewpoint, and obviously it was rustling in trees and movements, and that's what did it for me. Like Predator 2, I was kind of like, it's not quite as cool, and
less is more on it. Less is more.
So,
can I just pick up on Alex Rain's comment there about watched Heart Eyes? Either of you guys seen a Heart Eyes yet?
no, I've not seen it yet.
I feel vindicated. I'm so pleased Alex has said that. Alex, I've got a separate horror channel called One Good Scare Show with my friend James Keegan, where we talk and review all the latest horror movies. James Keegan thought Heart Eyes was one of the best horror movies he's ever seen. I thought it was absolute dog crap. It did my head in. And I would go as far as to say halfway through the film, I looked at my wife and I said, this has got to be a joke. There's going to be a point where they turn around on the film and say it's all been a movie set or a bit of it, because it was just so stupid.
And she went, Pete, do you remember when we went on that date? And I loved that, and you loved Starship Troopers. This is the best film I've ever seen.
Heart Eyes was one of the regular films that we get to the end of the movie and she turns to us and looks at us with absolute disdain and says, why do you bring me to see this crap? It was like, I don't know.
I just think there's something really missing with horror at the moment. Like I just feel that every film that comes out is attempting to be the next big icon.
So, Jacob, do you know what? Sorrell's going to look at us in a moment, and he's going to tell us that he really, really enjoyed the trailer for that stupid bloody doll dancing movie, aren't you? I can
Megan?
see. Dear God, awful. Just awful. The trailer for that was diabolical.
Mate, they need Megan back because she's now going to fight a new robot.
Oh, it's
Smashy
Terminator 2,
robot
mate.
fun, mate.
It's Terminator 2. Megan Terminator 2. It's like, how we?
we've got to give Megan some credit though, because isn't Megan the exact character that got you into 1/6 scale? Sorry.
It was, mate.
It's
She's
true,
on my
yeah.
shelf. She's
There you go.
where is she? She's there. You can't really see her, but she's there.
Yeah, I see her. I see her. So,
yeah.
yeah.
That's my first 1/6 girl.
You know what? I just thought it was an age thing, but I find it very hard to get scared now. And
Yeah.
That film's not
just-
it's scary though, is it?
No.
no, but
it's,
as a
it's one
kid,
of those. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, but as a kid, there were movies that genuinely terrified me that people have never heard of.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whereas nowadays it just feels like everything's trying to be the next big horror icon.
So basically, like what they've done is they keep introducing the horror character first rather than the story. So Megan, my daughter knows who Megan is. She shouldn't have seen that film in 1,000 years, but she knows who Megan is. She knows who Terrifier is, which is scary beyond belief. Like because she knows who Chucky is, and because the characters are so outlandish, the crossover. Like Fortnite will put Megan in there before long, I'm sure.
Yeah. Speaking of outlandish, did any of you guys see Death of a Unicorn?
Yes.
Not yet. Not
Yes.
yet. I just, by all means, talk
Stupid
about
but
it.
amazing.
But what?
Yeah.
No.
Just Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega, though. I just didn't see those two working together well in a film. When I saw them,
But they
I was like-
just play themselves. They both of those individuals play the same character in every single program they're in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget Will Poulter's in it as well. You got Will Poulter.
He
as
was
well.
good. I do like, and what you call him, Richard E. Grant. He was good.
Grant.
Yeah. And the
I
lady
don't know
from
how
Home
they got that
Secretary.
cast together for that caca bubble, but you know, but it's one hell of a cast, isn't it? When you put it on paper, it's like that should work, but it just doesn't. It gives me hope for Anaconda with Jack Black and Paul Rudd, and that's
what?
going to be just as diabolical.
Anaconda is one that I'm actually really looking forward to, because as a film, it wasn't great. Let's be honest. It was.
But can you not hear it already that he's going to pick up a guitar halfway through and be like, Anaconda, snakes in the jungle.
There's a snake. Yeah, it will be. It will be. But I don't know. There was something about Anaconda that, like, I love a big creature feature movie. Like, I love. I think one of my
like a big snake.
Well, one of my favorites. Have you ever seen Rogue, the alligator one or the crocodile one?
Yeah.
Yes.
That I loved. Like, it gave me proper Jaws vibes. Like, I really loved it. But you know, there was a period of time in the kind of late 90s, early 2000s where there were so many B movies made about giant spiders and giant sharks and giant bears and all this kind of stuff. And Anaconda was one of them kind of more high budget ones, like Lake Placid, where they kind of had a budget and, you know, they tried to make something out of it. So the fact that they're revisiting that, I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased.
I'm with Darkman in the chat. Yeah, I love a bit of Anaconda, but Snakes on a Plane, that's where it's at.
Yeah, Snakes on a Plane is
that's a
mental.
tremendous movie. Tremendous.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson at his best. Alex Rain, I'm thinking that I should sack James Keegan and you should do my horror channel with it, because you're absolutely right. I said exactly the same thing. First Terrifier, I liked. It felt grounded. And then we just went nuts, didn't we? We just went absolutely mental with demonic creatures and going to hell. And by the third one, the violence was just almost, it didn't mean anything anymore. I was meant to be shocked when he chainsawed him in the shower, but it was just more of the same.
More of the same Terrifier. Yeah, I wish they'd have continued with the whole that girl in his head thing. I wish they'd have continued with that a little bit more than what they did, because that was intriguing at the beginning.
Yeah.
That only he could see her.
I thought the same about the like Insidious kind of franchise. You know, I thought the first couple were really good, and then when it went off on a tangent, and I was just like, you've lost me. You lost me. Same as like Paranormal Activity. I really enjoyed the first one, and then it was like, this is stupid now. Right. But I don't know. I'm just waiting for a good horror to kind of come out and
there
get
have
me.
been some good ones over the last. I mean, some of the guys in the chat there have mentioned Thanksgiving. That was a great horror movie. Really cool. Enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to the new Final Destination. Bit of a fan of that franchise.
The Bloodlines
Yeah. Smile 2 was amazing. I loved Smile 2. Don't know if you guys saw that one.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Very
Smile
No,
2
good.
is great.
you know,
Very
yeah.
good.
I watched the first one and I was kind of like,
Smile
okay.
2 is better than Smile 1. Smile 2 is a lot
Yeah.
better.
But then I like really random ones like is it Follows, where
Yeah,
they
Follows is good.
yeah.
see. I thought that was brilliant. Like just this completely different concept that genuinely was a little bit thing. But Final Destination, I think, hits on a different level because like I still won't drive behind a van that have got
Yeah,
like
me too.
scaffolding on it. Like it hits differently because it's so realistic. I think they got a bit mental in the last couple of films, but yeah, the concept of it is really quite cool. And I'm with you. I'm really looking forward to this Bloodlines one because obviously we've seen in a trailer it's someone that skipped it years ago, and then obviously this whole new generation of people that shouldn't be alive. Like, that's very
I'm
cool idea.
hopefully going to get to the cinema this week because Sinners, the Michael Jordan movie, that's supposed to be really, really good. That's a vampire flick. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing that one. That's getting great reviews.
The fact I really love him as an actor. I think he's brilliant, and it's what's his name as well, the director of Black Panther.
Yeah.
What's his name now? I'm totally forgetting it. Somebody in the chat back me up here. But he obviously plays the two brothers as well, doesn't he, Michael B. Jordan, which I think is really cool concept. But yeah, just it reminds me very much of kind of a Dusk Till Dawn kind of obviously not that Ryan Coogler. Thank you very much. Darkman, just put it in there.
Have you seen the viral clip with Haley Steinfeld and what she says to Michael B. Jordan?
No.
Damn. little bit sexy.
Oh, really? Is it?
A little bit full on. Hawkeye, no.
Shelley, tickets booked for Thunderbolts on Thursday. This is getting a lot of good. It's getting a lot of good publicity. A lot of good publicity. People are saying it's the best Marvel thing in recent years. That it's a good setup for the next element of the franchise and everything. I'm quite excited for Thunderbolts. I haven't booked tickets yet, but I'm definitely going to go and see it. But speaking of Marvel, there was a massive trailer that dropped in our 2 months where we weren't getting together. Fantastic Four.
Oh, the internet blew up with that one, didn't it?
Where's your heads at with it? What do you think?
Well, clearly people have never read a comic book and have got no idea who that female surfer is, but she exists in the comics.
Yeah.
It's a multiverse, people. It's the infinite worlds theory. Anything can be anyone at any time in any place. It doesn't matter that she's female. It's still comic book accurate. It was from the alternate version, wasn't it? Where instead of him taking the mantle, she took it and left him behind.
Yeah, and she doesn't exist even without the surfer element. She's an existing character anyway.
Yeah,
Shalval's always been, and it's just Surfer's love interest.
I think they're saving I can't remember the names, the male Silver Surfer for a later Fantastic Four movie. She's going to be in this one because they're going to destroy that universe anyway.
Absolutely,
clearly. So she's in there to get wiped out.
I would put money on the fact that this entire universe that we're going to see in Fantastic Four ends in that film, with the Fantastic Four transporting to our existing universe.
My
theory
is because obviously of the pregnancy as well. They're gonna, the trailer builds them very much up as, the heroes that obviously put themselves first and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's going to be one of them really hard decisions that kind of really kind of affects them moving forward and makes them into a different type of person. But also the baby.
And also, what a great storyline. If you've got, it's been set up, isn't it, very much that in this universe, the Fantastic Four are famous, everybody loves them, Reed's well-known, they're all celebrities and stuff like that. Then they're going to get shunted into our universe and be nobodies. And that's quite an interesting dynamic story-wise, I think,
Massively. Yeah.
Because they're not going to have the resources, they're not going to have the history, the background, so... Yeah, it gives you something interesting, I think, to pick up on their standalone movies. And this isn't Doom. This isn't Victor Von Doom. I don't think we're going to see, or a version of him. I think we'll get another Doom further down the line. I think.
What, the Robert Downey Jr. in Doomsday, or?
Well, I think Robert Downey Jr. is playing a variation of Tony Stark. I don't believe it's Victor Von Doom. I think we'll get Victor Von Doom later on, perhaps. Don't forget, Tony Stark has worn the Iron Man costume before. Sorry, the Doom costume before as well. You know, so
Yeah.
I hope this isn't, because Victor Von Doom is such a big character. He deserves to be fully rendered as he was from the comic books. You know, I want that backstory and all the rest of it.
Potentially, he's the next big, like, you've had Thanos. Like, Thanos was the big one that kind of held it all together. Doom is the next, and one of, in my opinion, one of the only ones that is enough of a household name, but also has enough in the comic book.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if this is a continuation of the Avengers theme of Iron Man wanting to put his armor around the whole world. This version is going to be scarred because at the end of Endgame, when he snaps, he survives. So he's hideously disfigured and all the rest of it, but he continues that mission to make sure this never happens again, kind of thing. That's where I'm leaning towards.
Ooh.
But
the other... Go on, so...
I was going to say, I think it won't just be Franklin that she's pregnant with. I think they're going to change it slightly from the comics. I think she'll have twins. She'll have Valeria as well. Yeah. Because Valeria's got a big role to play with Doom in Doomsday and stuff. Because she's the goddaughter of Doom. And she has a very weird relation. Because Doom named her after his deceased wife, if I remember rightly. Yeah. So that's like a big part of Doom's backstory. I think they'll include that in this film. I think she'll have twins, basically. And we all know that Franklin is like the all-powerful Omega being anyway. So he's a god character for the universe, technically, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's the only one that could literally stand up to Apocalypse. I think a future version of himself will come into the film. I think you'll see him as a baby protecting himself or some crap. Like, I reckon an older version of him will appear in this film. He's like full power.
What about the big Galactus foot at the end of the trailer?
Tremendous.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant.
Again, loads of internet nerds going crackers saying, oh, he should be bigger, he's supposed to be able to swallow the planet, blah, blah, blah. He's not. If you go back to the original appearance of Galactus, he's walking the streets. He's a giant, you know. So, yeah, as long as he's not a friggin' cloud, who cares? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's funny you say that, though, because don't you think that the vibe of this film feels very much like Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer? Like, you know, that it's literally the same storyline, isn't it? That Surfer comes, warns them.
Actually, it's funny you're saying that, because one of the scenes is pretty much identical with Johnny Storm flying up into space, flaming out, and then dropping. Yeah. It's like, oh, we literally just saw that, you know?
Did you? There's two things about the Avengers stuff. Did you catch the live stream by Marvel that went on for like 5 hours or whatever it was?
I saw bits of it. I thought,
well, the one with the chairs.
Yeah, that was some intense marketing. Like, what a way to build up! Like, but what I think
ad revenue they made.
Yeah, can you imagine? But what they paid for the film, basically. But what I thought was clever is that they didn't do it in an order. So obviously they mentioned one of the Fantastic Four, and then you didn't hear about any of the other Fantastic Four for like 2 hours later. And then obviously at the end you get Robert Downey Jr. But yeah, I think it was cool. But it was all the names that were missing. There were some really good names on there. But it was all the X-Men reveals that got me, and I was going mad for. But then what I've read is that, you know, basically they're going to be, it's going to be X-Men versus Avengers, and the Avengers have to kill the X-Men's universe to survive. So they're going to kind of wrap this universe up with Patrick Stewart and everyone, and close it in a battles kind of scene. The only other thing as well that I noticed was that Chris Evans has been confirmed as Captain Hydra as well.
Is that officially confirmed, or is that still
supposedly is officially confirmed as Captain Hydra, which could lead itself into what you're saying there about kind of variations and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good either way.
Well, it's different X-Men to the one we've seen prior. Anyway, it's just the actors coming back, because obviously you saw there's a set picture of Cyclops. He's wearing the traditional yellow and blue costume now. Same as how Wolverine's wearing his yellow and blue in Deadpool. They're following the suit of you in the suits properly this time.
I think that's doctored.
You think?
That image? Yeah, because that came out, that was floating around when Deadpool Wolverine was out.
They have confirmed that they're going to wear comic accurate costumes.
They have, yeah.
I don't think you'll see much of them. I don't think it's going to be a
No.
full-on X-Men versus Avengers.
No.
I think.
Big
Have you
cameo.
guys read the most recent Secret Wars comic series?
No.
No.
So it's all about.
You know about Battle World, the old.
Yeah,
that's
well,
when I
no.
read
So
Battle World.
that's the original Secret Wars, where the Beyonder brings everybody to Battle World to fight.
And they all fight out.
No, I've read the modern one where Doom basically brings
the
Battle World
incursion
together.
events. So incursion events are basically where different realities cross
Yeah.
and collide with each other, and only one can survive. So I think that's what this is going to be. All the
Yeah.
different realities cross and
Colliding.
colliding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how they'll bring the Fantastic Four into it from their little pocket,
It's-
wherever they're.
I mean, it's
hanging
clever
around.
because it'll be basically it's Marvel resetting its cinematic universe. Because by the end of all of these films, we'll hopefully get away with multiverses, and you'll have one reality, but they can pick and choose what they want to throw in. So the X-Men will have always existed in this new cinematic universe because they've been smashed together and formed a new kind of reality, as it were.
It's a clever concept because obviously they are talking about the X-Men films. We know that there's going to be a new X-Men film, but I just found it really interesting how many names were missing off of those chairs. So things like Tom Holland's Spider-Man wasn't there, and there was some other names that were really missing that people got talking.
But did you see Robert Downey Jr.? I think it was either Instagram or Twitter post afterwards. I think the day after he posted something and said, "Crikey, that was a lot of announcements. That's got to be everything, hasn't it?" Question mark. And then Marvel, the official Marvel account, responded and said, "Well, you would think, wouldn't you?" Or something along those lines. Question mark. Basically implying that that's wave one. There's more to come.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was all the jokes about the kind of the action figure releases of the chairs.
Yeah.
I was there'll be people that buy them. Let's be honest. Just a shelf of chairs with names on the back.
Can't wait. I'm excited for that. But gentlemen, I'm even more excited for Superman. I am hyper for that. I'm hoping beyond hope that that's going to be amazing.
I'm there all day long for Superman.
Did you see the sneak peek
Yep.
during Superman Day where Crypto basically drags him to the
I loved it.
solitude? I loved it.
Perfect.
I showed my dad it, and as soon as he whistled, he went, "Oh God, the dog's in this one." I went, "Yes, he is."
I think the sad thing is there's a lot of people kind of being negative about Superman and saying that it peaked with Henry Cavill and that kind of stuff. But Henry Cavill's Superman was very dark. It was
That
was
Zack
brilliant.
Snyder universe, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. I loved it, but it wasn't my Christopher Reeve Superman. It wasn't my comic book Superman. It was a very different. It was cut from a different cloth. Whereas this feels very nostalgic, very,
Hopeful.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
a nice pun there, like just yeah. But I just think I just hope it does well. I really do hope it does well because there's something about
DC needs a
Superman.
break.
Is what?
As a DC needs a break at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They need something to break their way.
But you not think as well we need to get back to, if I think of the original Superman movie or what Superman represents to me, it is about hope and it's about, peace and it's about justice and all that kind of stuff. We need a film that's not dark and gloomy and shot at night. And I want to see the trailer for me had two superb Superman quintessential bits. The bit where he kind of covers the girl with his body and defends her. I just thought was phenomenal.
Perfect, yeah.
But then the most perfect Superman line was when Krypto drags him into the fortress and the robots pick him up and he's talking to the robots and thanking them like they're just normal people. Again, showing that level of Superman that actually everybody's worthy of conversation and pleasant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just, I just loved it. I just hope, my fear with the movie is that there seems to be a hell of a lot of people in there. I hope it's not overrun by different characters and I want to see a Superman film.
I think my faith is in the fact that James Gunn is a fan, and I'm hoping that's there. But you're right what you say about the original film, like the Christopher Reeve film, like there's no big bad guy. There's no you think about Superman 3 when they kind of tried to bring in like an equal for him to fight, and it just didn't land the same.
No.
It didn't work the same because it was so different to that first film, and even the second film to an extent. That it was just about the ride, wasn't it, as opposed to a big fight scene. And
it's interesting. Jacob, I'm sure you have. Sorrel, have you seen Superman 2?
Probably not for a long time though.
Don't worry, fights are. Again, this is a film that in my head is a masterpiece. And then the other day I was just mucking about on YouTube and I went and watched the battle between Superman and Zod, and wow. I mean, that's as bad as it comes.
Yeah.
They're just awful. The dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
the special effect, it was just bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm never going to go back and rewatch Superman 2 just in case it's horrendous.
No. Superman 1 I do go back and watch, but the sequels I've not touched in a long time.
Yeah.
I have them as a memory.
To be fair, I think I've only ever seen the original Superman probably once, twice in my entire life, to be honest.
Yeah. It's
not a film I visited often.
It's just one of them films, and that score, that theme, like there isn't another superhero out there that the theme hits the same. I really like. I argue it. There is not. For me, there isn't.
I think you're right, but I think for me the Batman '89 theme kicks in straight away. But so does now the X-Men theme. As soon as I hear that, it's a bit like the Mission Impossible theme. As soon as I hear that, and I know, X-Men are coming. You know.
Yeah. Okay, fair play. I'll give you X-Men. Batman '89. Yeah, but not in the same way as Superman.
No.
There's saying, and that's what I think got me with the trailer for James Gunn's film, is that having that theme laced into the trailer, it just hit me. It was like, yeah, okay, Superman's back. You know, this is it. But yeah, Superman for me was like my first. It was my first superhero. Like that's where it all kind of began for me. So I'm very excited that we're going to get another one. I'm just trying to catch up here on the Darkman said still don't like the suit. Yeah.
Sorry, Batman Forever was I think the first superhero film I think I saw on big screen.
Batman Forever.
I think it was Forever, yeah.
Deadman, Superman Returns was a great film. Yep, agree with you on that one.
Roth, bless him, he got screwed with that film really.
I
he
think
did a great version of it.
The thing is though, is that it is the eyeball scene for me, because it was having that Christopher Reeve-esque Superman with modern special effects, and I remember seeing the poster, and it was just him, you know, in the sky, surrounded by the sun, and I was just like, this is insane. He's kind of back. And they did kind of give us his story arc, didn't they? Through the what was it? The TV show, not Arrow. What is the Arrowverse, wasn't it? But we kind of
Crisis and all the rest.
Crisis in Infinity. No, Crisis on
Infinite Earths.
Infinity Earths. Yeah. But it was But yeah, Shelley said there as well, Christopher Reeve was my Superman. I totally agree about the thing for him. Did you guys watch Superman, the documentary?
Yeah. Superb.
Right, yeah.
I bawled like a baby. Yeah. There was something so beautiful about that. But yeah, it's
very good.
Yeah,
very, very good.
It was an amazing documentary. I'm really pleased that it was made, because it showed so much of him as a person. Like, it's just perfectly named as well. Like, it was just, you know, but no, Christopher Reeve for me is my Superman. But I'm hopeful for this. I really am hopeful for this one.
Yeah. Kind of weird.
Pete, yeah, didn't you pick up something relatively sizable while we were away?
Yes, I did. I don't know if you want to show the slide. So this came when I was on holiday. This is the Cat's Lair, which we've talked about on this channel on a few occasions. Obscenely big. And I knew it was going to be big, but I still wasn't prepared for just how big it is. It's huge. So I've unboxed it today. I'll have a video out this week probably about it all. those are the Super 7 scale figures there. So that just shows you how big it is. Little surprise for us. Little surprise for us. I didn't back it quickly enough. So I didn't get the early bird key to Thundera, but it was in the box. So I'm presuming they just put them in for it. I don't know. But I got one, which was cool. I haven't got a frigging clue what I'm going to do with it. I really haven't, because I had...
Is there much movement to it? Does it?
Yeah. So the back all opens up, and you've got different play sets and tables and cannons and things on the back end of it. It's like hills behind it. The doors and everything all open. Those little blue panels there open up, and there's guns behind them. The cat's claws open up, and you can put your thunder tank in there if you want.
I was going to say, does the tank fit in there?
Interestingly, the Super 7 thunder tank, which they released a couple of years ago, isn't scaled for it, which seems a bit odd. But I think if you get an original thunder tank, which is what I'm probably going to do, that should fit in there nicely. But I don't know, because I quite like just having it as it is. Do you know what I mean? And I don't necessarily want all the bits open and stuff like that.
It's stunning. It really is stunning. Like, what a centerpiece.
Light up effects, really nice. So yeah, I absolutely love it. Love it.
And is it like, because looking at the photo, you can see how good it looks, but is it worth the money, like the quality of it and stuff? Would you say that it's I
find that really hard to answer, because at the end of the day, it's a big chunk of plastic. Do you know what I mean? I paid £740 for this, so it is a pricey item. If you're looking at, how would I argue? If you're looking at kind of drawing your eye and whatnot, absolutely. As soon as you walk into the room, you kind of not look at it, because it takes up half the room. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I like it. Whether I'm going to keep it long term, I haven't decided yet.
How many were made? Do you know?
Oh, I haven't got a clue, mate. I haven't got a clue. I'm not sure.
It's gonna hold its value, though, isn't it? It's
yeah. Well, they're already selling on eBay for in excess of £1,000. So
wow.
I could get my money back straight away, or I think it'll go up in value.
I've got to say, Shelley's comment here, and we're all waiting to see Beth's Cat's Lair. We've talked about Beth's Cat's Lair for years now, and then Triple G just comes in with a slideshow. Sorry, Beth, but we've seen it. It's incredible, though. It really is incredible. I've started getting into the Super 7 Thundercats quite late in the game, but I've been picking up they've done the classic versions, haven't they? Like the kind of slightly cheaper ones.
Yeah. They are nice figures. What I would say is both my Tigra and Lino, the abdominal joints are pretty poor, so they flop quite a bit, which I think is disappointing for the price you're paying for the figures. Some of them are extremely expensive. The Astral Jaga there was, I think, about 130 quid. But again, on the aftermarket, they are ridiculous prices. I haven't got Wily Kit, Wily Cat and Snarf yet, because I missed the release date for them, and I'm not willing to pay the 150 quid they're asking for them on eBay. So yeah.
Jack said that we need a Cat's Lair themed bat signal to summon Ryan, because Ryan wants best Cat Lair specific. This is getting very OnlyFans, guys. Let's Alex Ryan said, I don't like the plastic quality on the joints of Super 7s. I've seen a few breaks. There you go, echoing what you've said.
So I had 2 breakages in mine, Alex. I had a very common fault with this, from what I've seen on other YouTube videos, is the mountains which clip together at the back got 2 little plastic pegs, and one of my pegs was snapped off, and that's apparently very common. And then you get 2 cannons which rotate up and down. One of my cannons was popped off, snapped, so I've had to glue that back in place. Again, you know, I'm quite relaxed about this kind of stuff if you can glue it back together, but the argument would be, if you're paying £750 for something, you expect it to come pristine. So the box they sent it in wasn't the best.
I don't know if you guys remember, but when the Marvel Legends Sentinel came out, it was the first HasLab from Marvel Legends, and there was like a really common issue of the knee joints not being sturdy enough to hold the figure up, and the internet kind of went mad on it. And then even the Giant Man came with like boss eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but for me, the Super Sevens, like what I find really interesting as well is in the box it says, you know, this is not a toy, this is an action figure collectible, which basically says don't move it because it'll break. Like that's how I read that notice. But I can't remember the terminology they use. It's not classics, but it's something along them lines. The newer versions, and they're not anywhere near as detailed or articulated, but they're a much more affordable kind of price point for the figures. I picked up the Mirror Lino, the red one, because he was quite cheap. I picked him up just to compare him, and yeah, they are definitely better figures. But that's an awesome setup, though. I'm a bit disappointed that the tank doesn't fit.
Yep.
That's a bit of a shame.
It's a strange one, I guess. I mean, Christ, if you were to have the tank fitting in there as well, how big would it be? Do you know what I mean?
It'd be massive, wouldn't it? Be massive.
Yeah.
Bethany Beth said, which box was the key in?
Box one. Box one.
I'm guessing Bethany Beth didn't get a key. Before you move on, I think Sora wants to show us his cats there.
We'll show the other slides another time, Jacob, because we're getting short on time, aren't we? So,
all right, it's all right. We can go through them because I think they're
Must have been running for. I think we're running for 2 hours this time, aren't we? We're running a bit longer than usual. But yeah, this is the only Cat's Lair I can afford, mate. I'm gonna get the Funko Cat's Lair.
Just as good.
Yeah.
Do you know
What?
It comes with a mountain.
Yeah.
Not mate, even better. Do you know what's even better than that?
What?
Do you know what's even better than that? I can also afford, if I'm going to do it this way, I can also afford the tank.
There we go.
Because there you go. There he is. That's the tank.
Looks like a go-kart.
Yeah, that that doesn't look right.
Doesn't look right.
Got all the Funko.
Let's have a look at these next slides over here.
Yeah.
So I've recently been on holiday, been to Benidorm for a fortnight. Just wanted to get your thoughts on these. Every shop we went into had this kind of stuff, but it was actually really quite, I thought, expensive. So you were looking like 20 quid for a set like this of kind of knock-off cack. Do you know what I mean?
See, they're the sets that came like when back in the day they would be like a £5 and you'd pick it up for the laugh of it. But I wouldn't pay 20 quid for that.
I don't know, that Mr. Incredible, I kind of want that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it does look cool.
It's Batman's jaw. It looks like the Tick.
What's the one? What's the one next to Spider-Man? Is that a Power Ranger then? Is it?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah. It looks
It's
like a
Buzz as
knockoff,
well. What kind of bizarre universe is Buzz from?
But I mean, the shelves were packed with these kind of things, and I have to say, I did pick one up and thought, oh, I might just pick that up just for a. But
it's
people
the wording,
collect these.
though.
People do collect these, you know.
Yeah, it's the wording that I like new arrival at the top. Are they referring to the figures in the box, or are they talking about the turtles there that they're showing? Is that like the next wave? And it's like, and there isn't any turtles in there. No. And there's a Hulk on the box. There's Shrek. There's the Thing. Like, and none of those are actually in the box. So
very
next
random.
to Buzz, that sticker, I think it says light. Is it light up?
Maybe it's Buzz Lightyear. Maybe.
What gets me about these though is that
Shrek in the bottom right as well. Sorry, there's no the Shrek on the packaging.
Yeah. What gets me though is that who are these aimed at? Like the people that are producing these, who are these aimed at? Because
to be fair, if I went on holiday with my parents, if I was about 5, 6, I wouldn't care. I mean, I'd play with that round pool for a week.
Yeah.
Also,
you know what I mean? If I were a small kid.
Yeah, I suppose so. If these are aimed at like small kids, but you know, regardless of even native people of the country, like they're gonna know that there's turtles on the box and there's not turtles in the box, and Shrek doesn't belong there. Like Shrek and Buzz Lightyear, why have we put Buzz Lightyear in the middle? Like the thing that annoys me the most though is that Batman hasn't got a cape.
Yeah. Neither Superman.
Does he not? Oh,
no.
Okay. That annoys me then. That
You've
does
got
annoy
2
me.
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
They've
even
kind
notice
of given up. They've given up painting Buzz Lightyear. They've done one leg and thought it can't be arsed. Had enough.
I didn't even notice that. The Spider-Mans aren't any even different, are they?
It's
No.
Buzz's face. Have you seen Buzz's face when you zoom in?
Buzz is having a good time. Isn't he? Buzz is having a good time. Yeah.
Buzz looks like a character at Disney. Do you know what I mean? Like he just looks like somebody in a costume. It's the arm as well. They haven't painted the other arm. Like it's literally his whole right side. They just haven't touched. Mr. Incredible does look like if Mr. Incredible entered the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like it's like kind of a.
I reckon there's about an 80 to 90% chance the paint on these is highly toxic as well. So do you know what I mean? I would avoid.
Do they have a light in the middle of the chest? Because if they don't have a light in the middle of the chest, they're not.
They're not even real. Yeah, they're not even real.
No.
I did visit another toy shop when I was there. It had a massive selection of action figures and like proper stuff. Do you know what I mean? But this kind of a shop, I don't know if you guys have been to any of the shops in Spain, but this kind of shop was very far and few between. It was predominantly kind of your cheaper stuff, but that's some nice stuff. But I spotted these. I hadn't seen these before. These Play-Doh Marvel characters: Captain America, Hulk, Spider-Man, Black Panther. I quite like them. Have you guys seen them before?
Yeah, you can get them in like Sainsbury's and Tesco, and supermarkets tend to have them.
Yeah,
I mean they're not bad. I used to love Play-Doh. I used to love the smell of it. But yeah, I thought they were quite cool. So that was my little trip away. Do you want to bring that down, Jacob? Get rid of the slides. I'll just show you a couple of other things. Are you doing pickups? Is that what we're...
go for it.
Show you a couple of other things that I've showed on my channel, but I haven't showed you guys, I don't think, yet. But I got one of these guys. This is one of the new Gremlins 2 line.
Yeah.
He's lush. He's just
like
Trick or Treat Studios.
Trick or Treat, yeah.
That's 1-on-1 scale as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So I've got a spike. What do you call them when they're green? Because this is a Mogwais. Is it Gremlins when they're green?
Gremlins, yeah.
Yeah. So I've got a life-size Gremlin as well in the other room, but I picked him up. I think he's cool. very cute. Oh, just smashed his head in.
Just that cute little face.
He's a cute little Mogwai. Bang!
Smashed it. And then I got this. Nice. This is the in-art Batman. The Batman.
Nice.
Really nice. Quite like that. So
I have a newfound admiration for like the Batman suit after seeing it at the Unmasked exhibition because it was so realistic, like, and everything about it was like a paratrooper suit or something, wasn't it? But they never explained that in the movie. But all the details on the suit are so.
There was all this thing as well, wasn't it? If you read the pre-comic, I don't know if any of you guys read it, but if you read the pre-comic, the bat sign here. If I can get it.
It comes out, right?
Yeah, it comes out. I can't get it out. But anyway, it comes out. And I don't know if you read the pre-comic, but it basically says, if you have a look at the detail of it, it's all mechanical. But there was a whole storyline about how that's the gun that shot his parents, that he's halved and split in two and created the bat sign. But that's not touched on in any of the movie that I recall at all. But that was the story. Last thing I'll pick up, I haven't showed this on my own channel yet, so you'll get an exclusive. I've gone through a phase of trying to go back and, I collect comic books, CGCs, and picking up comic books based on shows that I love. So Buffy the Vampire Slayer, issue number 1. But look at that. I'm not showing you our chest here. Look at that.
Signed by Sarah.
Signed by Sarah Michelle Gellar. I've been after one of those for a long, long time.
That's very cool.
Over the moon to get that. Because I do love a bit of Sarah Michelle Gellar, and I am absolutely hyper for the new series coming out. Cannot wait for that one.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's I mean, she always said that she would never go back to it unless the story was right. So the fact that she's on board, Buffy's one of them ones that it worked perfectly for me at the time that it was out, and it kind of still holds up today. Like the quality of it is still very much up there. So I hope they stay true to the original. But I think she's going to take on much more of a what are they called? What was the Watcher role, isn't she? So
can't wait for it.
It's going to be brilliant. It really is going to be brilliant. Even just, I just can't wait for a trailer just to see her back as that iconic character. There you go. James obviously heard you saying you were going to fire him earlier. He's popped
James,
in.
we've all agreed your taste in movies sucks. So check back on the comments, James. Everything I've ever said about rubbish films that you've disagreed with has been proved correct. So what a bit.
Sorry, what you got there?
Well, here's something you thought you'd never see. A Mr. Potato Head Beholder from Dungeons and Dragons. Hasbro have gone one step too far this time. But yeah, we've got a Mr. Potato Head Beholder.
The fact that it's got a tash has sold it for me. And one eyeglass.
It
The
was
glass.
Face alone has sold it me. I want that exact face on my setup.
I'm a beholder, but I still need my one eyeglass with two ear pieces, please. So, but that's another thing, isn't it? Marvel Star Wars signed Disney signed the agreement with Hasbro, multi-year agreement.
Yeah.
So yeah, people
extension. People are not looking at the wording properly. This is only an extension. It's not a continuation of the contract. It's an extension because after so many years, the contract has to go out to tender. It's law in this country. So I don't think they've got it for long. I think they may have it for a couple more years, but I don't think they've got it indefinitely. I think you'll have to go out to tender, and someone else may get it.
Yeah. Well, there was lots of talk, wasn't there?
For now.
There were lots of people talking about like McFarlane taking on the Marvel license and that kind of stuff.
God,
but
no.
Yeah, I don't know. I just Marvel Legends to me just at the moment they're just not hitting. I'm not hitting. Have you? What are you making of all this Maximum series stuff?
Wrong characters.
Well, remember on a couple of shows ago, maybe the last show, we talked about the Spider-Man, and then we talked about what's the Hulk going to have to justify that price point? And the answer was nothing. It comes with note. It comes with a few missiles.
Whoa! He comes with a rubber chest.
Yeah.
He comes with a rubber chest, which is, Yeah.
Can I just say, just to jump to the chat a second, one of my regular viewers has jumped onto the chat tonight, just to say hello. We've got Truss Pork Markets, which is Liz Truss. You might be aware of her. She was our Prime Minister. She says, I give these away at pork. I sell at pork markets. She then quickly switches to Rishi's Maths Club. Again, was it Prime Minister, I believe. Do you have any spare cash? I'm collecting for my Sky package. And then we've got Starma Sutra. Have you reviewed any tools tonight? Not tonight. Not tonight. This is the quality I bring to this show, gentlemen. This is nice to see you again. That collection of prime ministers. Nice to see you.
It's always good to have some political faces in our chat.
It is. Yeah. It is.
Alex said that he got his Spider-Man the other day and he feels like he's been violated £50.
Wow.
You know what? There's a real common theme here of people saying that it's a lovely figure and it's great and all the rest of it, but it doesn't justify the price point. And then there's kind of another bunch of people that are going, no, this is it. And I think the important thing to remember with this is that it's setting a precedent. And for them to test the water with a different type of figure at a different price point, or a repackage of the figure at a different price point, it will become the norm, and that's the dangerous. And I think it's almost one of them ones as well that when you collect multiple lines, I always compare things compared to other figures and other lines. So for me, the Maximum series were a no-go because I was like, for that price point, I can get something much better. Whereas obviously if you're solely Marvel Legends, it's a higher end, or you're led to believe it's a higher end Marvel Legends figure. And I just think that now that we've had two, you can see where this is going. And you're right, there isn't a huge amount more than what we've had previously. Like, yes, there are differences and there are bits that you haven't had before. So like the ungloved web hands and the, various bits of articulation and the rubber chest and the clapping hands and all this kind of stuff. But are they really worth a price hike of up to £50? Like, it's
I see how
slippery slope.
I mean, I haven't seen the figures in hand, but with the Spider-Man one, I could justify it to an extent because you get a whole host of accessories and swap outs, and whether you use them or not is irrelevant, I guess. But you get a whole host of stuff with it. With the Hulk one, I just didn't see the value in terms of what else you got with the base figure. You know,
No.
Yes, it's probably a bigger, bulkier figure, I guess, but I don't know. It seemed a lot of money for another big green Hulk. You know.
And the fact that it shared the same arms with the last Hulk release, there's a lot of stuff that was not new. There's a lot of repackage as well.
Yeah. I don't know where they're going to go with it. I don't like there has to be a point where they then have to raise the price a bit more to justify the inclusion of a certain character.
That line should have been for characters that have multiple accessories, multiple things that you can do with them. Spider-Man, yeah, okay, I get it. You need to sell the line. But then move on to people like Punisher, Blade, characters that are action-oriented figures that come with multiple guns, swords, that you can cram into the packaging.
A Tony Stark figure with two or three different sets of attachable armor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you can have a War Machine, an original gold suit, and then that would have made more sense. But
Alex has said a really valid point. He said, "I'd have argued if it had sculpted lines, I'd have found it justifiable."
Yeah.
But with that said, though, I do agree. But with that said, the movie figures had sculpted lines, didn't they?
$24.95.
And they were still coming in at £25. So I don't know. I don't know. Like, people were buying two of them and kind of putting one up for sale or putting one aside and stuff. And for me personally, it just was a no-go. So I really wasn't fussed.
Yeah, enough about Hasbro. It's free comic book day this weekend, gentlemen.
Yes.
Does anyone go out for free comic book day? I know I do. I do like a good free book.
I'm tempted this year for the Power Ranger VR Troopers one.
Yeah. There's a few
I think
good ones this year.
it greatly depends on how your local comic book shop organises free comic book day.
All right, okay.
So Travelling Man next to me and Forbidden Planet, you walk in the door and they hand you a plastic bag with some comics in it. You don't get to select what you want,
Right.
which means that normally when I go, I get a load of crap that I'm just not interested in, and it kind of defeats the purpose, if you know what I mean. So I tend to not make the trip in now and pick up what I want online or from other friends who've been in,
My local is Wakefield Comics, and he had a big standee last year, the big free comic book day standee.
Yeah.
And basically, you just chose what you wanted off the standee, and there was like a good 20 odd books you could choose from. Yeah. And he don't put a limit on it. You can get as many as you want. It's free comic book day. The only stipulation he puts in is that you only get one issue per customer of each title.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to get multiple titles. But yeah, there's some good books this year.
Yeah.
I mean, they normally have a couple of books that are kind of touted as being first appearances or going to go up in value and things like that. Last year we had a Energon Universe #1 with a great cover, which I managed to get my hands on after Free Comic Book Day, which was really cool.
There's one in this list that I think you're going to want to get this year. Just running through them, we've got Archie's Power Rangers versus Troopers is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Powerpuff Girls versus Thundercats. I mean, who doesn't want to see that crossover? Fantastic Four, Spider-Man.
That's a good one. I hate Fairyland. Great series.
Yeah. Spider-Man, X-Men, Phineas and Ferb from Disney. Got Conan, Scourge of the Serpent. Of course, Minecraft's in there this year.
Manga versus Beyblade, though.
Well, what?
It says Minecraft manga / Beyblade X.
Yeah, it'll be like a 2-in-1. You'll flip it round the other way around, and there'll be another one. Okay. 20th anniversary special for Boom Studios. I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I do like Boom Studios. But Demona, I know you love the Gargoyles comics. You had a lot to say about them earlier this year.
Who's that?
You.
Oh, it was Thundercats, mate. Thundercats.
Oh, Thundercats, not Gargoyles. Right, mate. Yeah. Sorry, that's my bad. Lost Marvels.
That's an interesting one. Sorry, that Lost Marvels one. That's Dominic Fortune, I think, from the old. Not a character I've seen for a long, long time.
Yeah. Godzilla, New Heroes.
Oh yeah, that looks cool.
Find Your New Fear. So there's some horror ones coming out.
Yeah.
There you go, Mark
Monsters.
Spencer's Monsters. I thought you'd like that one because I know you got all the variant covers, didn't you? For the
I did. I
series?
got a lot of them. Yeah.
So you kind of need this one now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice cover as well. I like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Fandom.
The
Not got a Fandom comic in a long time either.
Marvel's Voices. Amazing Spider-Man. Star Wars is always a good one. I always pick up the Star Wars one. Blood Type. That looks an interesting Terror comic. Looking forward to that one. Hero Bear, Flash Guardian, Creek Eagles. Bit of Judge Dredd there. Snow Monkey. Hulk Teach. Transformers, the worst bot ever. Ballpoint pen.
Cool. That looks cool.
The Black Mirror comic. I'm looking forward to that.
That'll be interesting.
Oh,
And
that's
Diablo as well, if
interesting.
I've
You
played the
know
game.
there's gonna be something with that.
Yeah.
The
It's gonna
link
be good,
in.
that. Stitch, the best food forever, apparently. Mega Man, Street Fighter, Def Leppard there, Hysteria.
Wow.
And the final one, I can't even pronounce that one. But yeah, there's tons of new comic books out
Good
this
ones
year.
there, isn't there?
Some all right ones this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to Saturday now.
Yeah, the thing is, I haven't got a comic book shop local enough to get the ones I want.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah, I always like it because it gets my daughter to read some comics as they're free.
Yeah.
She'll just pick them up. You know what I mean? Like she'll see Stitch and Phineas and Ferb, and she'll pick them up and read them. And it kind of introduces her to comic books slowly. So I like that. I do like this day out.
I think that's the sad thing about free comic, because it used to be exactly that, Sorrell. It used to be to get people through the door and all the rest of it. And then the cottoned on, at some point, the cottoned on to making some of the free comics first appearances and things. But they started putting that in the Spider-Man books. So you would get all the nerds like me rushing to get the Spider-Man book. So the kids who were going in to experience a comic for the first time couldn't get near it because the adults who wanted to slab it and sell it had already been in there and getting them, you know? So I kind of wish they wouldn't make it a key in any way. Just make it a standard story for people to read, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree.
I might have to pop in now, like, for the Transformers ones.
Yeah, it's plus I end up spending a fortune when I'm there. I'll go in for the free comics, but I end up spending an absolute arm and a leg while I'm there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I won't be picking any up. So
I always feel like I'm very lucky because obviously I've got a very good brick and mortar, comic book store in my area. Is an old fashioned dude. It's an old fashioned comic book store. The old comics just on the wall and a big strip.
Amazing.
So
Although
loads of long boxes.
I've picked up a few more of my Alex Ross covers, the timeless ones. So I'm
Nice.
slowly. I've now got a binder for them because I'm slowly fleshing that collection out. And obviously we've got Comic-Con in London next month as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be going up there and just pick it, just because I don't get to go to brick and mortar stores. So Comic-Cons is where I pick up my comics and my
That's going to be
pieces.
And that's going to be the big launch of Power Rangers, the big Power Ranger presence this year at MCM.
That's
Big
right.
presence.
Yeah, they are. That is right. They're doing that there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but have you seen those? We've seen some boxed figures now, haven't we? The box art and stuff that come out. Yeah.
We've seen them anyway, but I mean, everyone else has now been able to have a look at them.
We saw them. But we didn't see the boxes, did we? We didn't see them in package. So
no, I like the fact that you turn the side. On the side, it's got this thing that says, I like that. Let me see if I can find some pictures right quick.
C4 Dartmate. See, UK Games Expo. Are they crossing that over with MCM again? Because they did last year. It was like
Probably.
Games Expo and MCM crossed over at one point. Are they doing that in May? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head, but they probably will do. They usually do.
Yeah.
It's normally all one big con these days.
Yeah, October's MCM, they crossed over the two. And there was a big Games Expo kind of presence at MCM, which I hadn't seen before. But either way, I'll definitely be there. This year. But
Here we
the
go.
nice
Here's the
thing is
picture.
I'm going without any real shopping list. Like there's not anything that I'm chasing after in particular. So it means I'll just go and browse, and that's
Just go
usually
enjoy it.
the worst. Yeah, usually that's the worst. C4 said sometimes there's another one kind in NEC. So yeah, maybe that's a different one. That's fine then.
Here you go.
Are these the inbox pictures? Yeah, there
Yeah,
we
so
go.
these are the new photos that are surfaced. So you've got the 6 characters and then the box art on the side. It gives you the mural basically. It's
That
cool. I
looks
look forward
like
to that.
one box.
Yeah, it's the individual boxes turn on the side, I think.
No, look, if you look at the bottom, there's a barcode.
Oh, there is. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe it's a collector set. You get all of them,
Yeah,
all the characters
all of
together
them.
or something.
That would be interesting.
Mm-mm. I didn't notice that, to be honest.
No,
I just
that
took
would
it
be
as all the boxes were turned on the side.
Yeah, I did as well. It's only seeing it now on the screen bigger. But if that's a collector's set or something, or is that
Or is that what?
No, that's one big box. That's one big box.
so?
Zoom
Go
right in,
up,
you can see.
go up, because it's open.
Yeah, he's opened it.
So maybe these
Yeah, okay.
have come out of that box.
This
So
could
maybe
also
you
be a
can-
press box as well, couldn't it? This could be something that's only available to like select.
So
know what I
maybe
mean?
you can, or you could buy them as a whole.
There's a full set.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
That'd be
A
very
good way of doing it.
Nice.
You're not hunting them down then. But yeah, if I saw them individually in a shop, Dragon Range, the Green Ranger all the way, the Dragon Zord all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy.
Alex Ryan said, "Who has the Rangers license now?" Obviously, they're still a Hasbro product, aren't they? They're still a Hasbro license, but it's Playmates that are producing the figures. So they have this reignition license. So yeah, but obviously a lot of people were complaining because they're not the same as the Lightning Collection. They're not a continuation from the Lightning Collection, but they are something new. And like Sorrel said, we saw them in hand at Toy Fair, and they're not Lightning Collection figures, but they are still cool figures. They're kind of a little bit better than just the standard cheap kids toy, but not quite an adult collector figure. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to get them and display them with my.
Do you know what the price point is?
I've not seen the price.
No idea. There's been no official press release. It's already leaked images at the moment. There's been no official.
Right, okay.
The official release is meant to be MCM. MCM's the big launch, basically.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's all good. So okay, we're rounding down. Obviously, we're gonna aim to go for 2 hours every 2 weeks. That's how we're mixing it up. So we're not coming at you every single week, but when we do, we'll give you that 30 minutes longer than we did before. I tried to say that without sounding really dirty. I was trying to make that sound as innocent as possible. Coming at you for longer than we did before. But no, it's good. So we are back. We're back. Geek Week is back. We're up to episode 190. So 10 more episodes and we'll hit that big 200. And I think that even though episode 200 is going to be further away than it was going to be, if that makes sense, because we're obviously doing it every 2 weeks, I think we need to do something really big for episode 200. I really do.
Bring Ryan back.
No, I think we need to go bigger than just bringing Ryan back. I think we need to do something really
right.
big. So people that watch, people that tune in, drop us a message. Let us know what you think we should do for episode
Bring
200.
Steve back.
It is only it's only 10 episodes away. 10 episodes away, and I think we should do something like landmark. Darkmane episode 200 live in person. That'd be doable. Be messy.
20 weeks. Is it?
It's what?
He's like 20 odd weeks to organise it, isn't it?
Surely we can find a Weatherspoons that's near all of them. Do you know what I mean? We can shots.
Geek Week over a pint.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So let us know. Let us know. Drop us messages and all the rest of it, because we would like to do something a little bit different for episode 200. And yeah, camping trip for a beach party. I don't think we're quite at beach party level. You need to have a certain amount of people there for it to be a party rather than just a gathering. But a beach gathering. But one way or another. But anyway, everyone that has tuned in, that has commented, all that kind of stuff. We really do appreciate you. Darkman, could you do a roadshow and visit each one of our houses? Be cool. Borderline creepy for us to just be rolling up at people's houses.
Yeah, we won't tell you we're coming. We'll just arrive.
You're gonna film, especially if we're just sat in your house until 11:30 at night on a Sunday evening. That would be a little bit, But good ideas. But we want to do something big. But anyway, everyone that has joined in, commented, come back. It's been amazing to obviously have you guys there. Would like to also say as well, there's been quite a few people messaging us individually and all that kind of stuff about, is the show coming back? Are you guys gonna carry on? All that kind of stuff. So thank you to everyone that has messaged along the way. We are back, and yeah, anything you guys want to say as it's our first one back?
September 14th, mark your calendars, people. That's when it'll be. September 14th, big 200.
Worked it out. Wow, September. All right, so that's quite a way away. 10 episodes feels quite close, but we're
plenty of time to organise a trip. Yeah.
September 14th. Okay.
You just could come to my house and sleep in me cat's lair.
we'll have a paw each.
You have a paw each, yeah.
It's like we'll be like neighbours, lifted out. Come borrow some milk. Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, no, excellent. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Obviously, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time, so not next week, but the week after. But what we'll do is we'll set up the stream relatively soon so that it's there and you can put it in your calendars and stuff like that.
May 11th. May 11th.
May 11th is the next one.
May 11th is the next show.
Cool. So there'll be lots of Star Wars stuff to talk about.
Geek bi-weekly.
Geek bi-weekly. That works. That goes.
That might trigger something different in the algorithm. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would want that.
Yeah. There we go. But no, we do appreciate you all. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do check the description of the video. Obviously, give us all follows and stuff across various different things. Stay in touch over the 2 weeks. We'll be back. Till then, keep it geek.